What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Hot Take. Today we're in a 2019 Camaro SS 1LE.
Yes.
Not a ZL1, not a ZL1 1LE.
No.
It is so hard to keep track of the trims in this car. To put it shortly, this is exactly like the Camaro that we drove last year, but without the supercharger. So out of the same 6.2 liter V8, it is naturally aspirated, making 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. We have the owner, Steven, with us.
What's up?
He has a lot of cool cars. But yeah. This one is yours. Tell us a little bit about this car.
Yeah, this is my favorite car. It's been great. It's a 2019. It's a 2SS package, so it has all like the extra interior comforts, like heated and cooled seats and stuff. Yeah, I bought it off the original owner with like 6,000 miles on it, so the thing is mint, and it is bone stock. There's like nothing done to this other than it has the GM performance intake and a couple other like dealer installed accessories. That's it.
Yeah, super excited to take this out on the road. See the difference between the NA and the supercharged one. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you guys a verdict on whether I think you should buy the NA or the supercharged one. So let's go ahead and hop on the road and see how she rips. Wow. It's a pop on startup.
Oh yeah. Well, so it's still open in sport. It's just track like keeps it open in the higher gears when you're cruising.
I forgot how long the gearing was on these.
Yeah.
At least first gear. Oh, I already love this. Wow. I love how easy these things are to drive. You just hop in them, you know, it's almost as easy as a Miata. So, some initial impressions. Just like the other one, it is very easy to drive. We have some awesome pedal inputs. The gas pedal is pretty good for electronic throttle pedal. The clutch feels great. Bite point is predictable. The shifter is easily the high point of the driving experience of this car. One of them.
Yeah.
Brake pedal. Ooh, great initial bite. We'll see how the modulation is later. Sounds great, of course. Got some pops. This is one of the easiest cars to drive. I'm still blown away for how much car this is. So you've owned this for a minute now.
Yeah, well, actually over a year now. I bought it last July. Yes.
Yeah.
Hasn't felt like it. It's like flown by.
Right. Well, that's how you know you got a good car.
Exactly.
Oh, I am as laid back as I can go.
So these seats do not recline very much at all.
Nope.
Because they hit the back seat.
Yup.
So.
Problem with the sports car. So this is a normal mode, the exhaust?
It's in sport.
Okay, sport. There are so many pops already.
Yeah, the exhaust is a bunch of modes. There's stealth, tour, sport, and track.
Wow. Huh. Stealth is a cool mode.
Stealth is cool. It just closes the valves all the time, even if you're like wide open throttle.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just like a stock exhaust from an old car, basically.
Yeah.
Huh. So that's cool. So they basically gave you like multiple exhausts within the same exhaust system.
Oh, it's great. The difference between tour, or like the valves closed, and then sport and track with it open is huge.
Yeah, we'll put it into race mode on our way back and hear it in all of its glory. Although you said so, race mode is the same.
It's really not much different than what it is now. It's just now in 4th, 5th, and 6th gear. If you're not on it, it does close the valves for like cruising and stuff.
Oh, so it opens the valves automatically regardless of RPM if you give it full throttle.
Correct. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, like that's open.
Right. Oh, I heard a nice little whoosh from that intake. It's funny now not having the supercharger whine. But otherwise it's the exact same experience.
Yep.
It's so cool. GM just kind of like gave you this a la carte option. They just said you could kind of mix and match anything however you want. and we'll let you do it.
Yeah, the 1LE that's kind of what it is. It's a lot of running gear from the ZL1.
Yeah.
Even the stock pads, which is
Yeah.
a weak point, like on track, the stock pads here do great.
Yeah. Well, the brakes are so huge.
Yeah, you just have to swap the fluid. Because this car, so it comes with a separate owner's manual for track use, like a performance manual.
Oh,
so it tells
okay.
you how to set it up for track. So there's a different alignment you can get at the dealer for track use. But basically all it says is like swap the brake fluid and send it.
I mean, this is the track one. You'd hope that it comes ready, set up for the thing that it was built to do.
That's true, but even a lot of like modern cars that are, quote, track ready, like still like
Aren't.
there's some shortcomings, right? Like after a few laps, they get hot, or the stock brake pads are gone after 3 or 4 laps, kind of thing. Not the case here. There is also auto rev matching if you don't want to do yourself.
Oh yes, I forgot about the auto rev matching.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's on a paddle.
Yes.
And you get it on both sides. So if you decide mid-corner, regardless where your hands are, you'll be able to find one of the paddles.
Which did happen last track day. I forgot to turn it on at the beginning of the session. I was coming up to a corner. I was like, oh yeah, it's off. And I just quickly hit it.
This is stupid fast still. Even without the supercharger, this thing's way too fast. Oh my god. Yeah, alright, so we'll try auto rev matching. So you have to turn it on each drive, correct?
You do, but then it'll stay on.
It stays on, yeah. Oh, it's like driving manual in easy mode.
Yeah.
I actually thought the most practical application for auto rev matching is if you want to drive it normally in manual, like you normally would a manual transmission yourself, but then you're coming up to a corner and you're like, I don't feel like rev matching from 3 to 2, so I'm just gonna flip it on and let the car do it for me at low speeds.
If it's like the morning and I'm just kind of like, if I do decide to take it to work or something, I just want to like casually drive around and not worry about it. Sometimes I'll turn it on then too.
Yeah.
Let it do it.
Even on this bumpier section here, it still rides really well, and that is because of the GM Magneride suspension. How does it really work? Do you know? You're an engineer.
Yeah, so the shocks, the dampers themselves are filled with this fluid, which is impregnated with like particles that can be magnetized and demagnetized in like like milliseconds. So basically, what happens is they can be commanded to magnetize and demagnetize the fluid constantly.
Make it thicker or thinner.
So yeah, so it's basically those magnetic particles. There's a collar around the piston.
Yeah.
And it's changing the viscosity of the fluid basically. So as it magnetizes, it stiffens. So you get more damping out of the damper.
That's really cool. That's so genius. Who made that?
It is.
Who came up with that?
The reason why it's so good usually is because versus like a traditional valved dynamic damper, it can react way quicker.
We don't want to be too scary to the mailman. Thank you, sir. Appreciated. This thing sounds so good. It's how every American car should sound. It's got that nice, like, V8. Oh my goodness. This car also has a horrible sense of speed. You can't tell how fast you're going by trying to feel it out in this car. You have to actually look.
Oh yeah.
Because you do it by feel, you'll think you're going one speed, but then you're actually going, name whatever speed you're going and up it by 50%. That's probably what you're going. Yeah. Insane. Oh, it's funny. It gives me a little symbol in the cluster telling me there's a car ahead of me.
Yep.
As though I am not looking. Oh my goodness. That's modern cars for you. They have to like protect us from ourselves because they think I'm gonna look at the screen and not at the road.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. It does make sense when you have cruise control on. And these have the GM Super Cruise, which is one of the best in the car market.
The longest I've probably gone is like 20, 30 miles without touching the steering wheel once.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, we can put the exhaust into sport mode now.
So now the exhaust is in track.
It is in track.
It
Okay.
Interesting.
I didn't really notice that much of a difference. Yeah, I guess you're right. It's only.
It's just now it won't close it at like ever. Unless you're in 6th gear like at freeway speeds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't cut timing there.
Yeah.
Between my 3rd and 4th gear shift. With how easy this car is to drive, I feel like I don't really need the auto rev matching. It's just,
no, it's really nice to do yourself.
Yeah, like I already just did it perfectly. This car makes you feel like a superhero.
Yeah.
You drive it and you're like, okay, it's just so easy to drive. The car feels kind of too fast still for a lot of these roads. The supercharged one's really fast, but this is still also fast. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing the 200 horsepower, but also I don't think that being down 200 horsepower makes this car any more usable on the street. Regardless, I think both of them would be a blast on track. They kind of are like the perfect Camaro. This is like the best they ever did. You really get full throttle and you put your foot all the way down, you can hear the intake open up too. This thing has to be a blast on track. So we're going to a track day the day after this video gets shot, and I want to ride from you in this thing on track.
I was instantly hooked. I was sad that I only got to really take it out the last session because, well, my time got cut short because on track this thing devours fuel at a rate at which I wasn't even expecting.
6.2 liter V8, baby.
Yeah, so I went out with just below half a tank, and in about 15 minutes, not even a full session, I had to get off track because I needed enough fuel to get to the gas station.
Wow. So was it like below quarter tank?
It was like right above E. It went through at least 3/8 of a tank in 15 minutes.
That's crazy. These are not for the faint of heart when it comes to fuel consumption.
On a road trip, though, you can do mid-20s on the freeway.
That's good.
Easily.
That's because the super long 6th gear is probably churning at like 1500 RPM.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to work very hard.
Yeah.
So
big engine, small-ish car relative to the engine size. I mean, there are trucks that have smaller engines than this.
Yep.
This thing is so stable, it's so predictable, that's insane. No hesitation, the engine, the braking, any of that. Harsh power cutoffs.
So that was really interesting. I've never done a full throttle pull with it still.
No?
No.
That's funny.
So now I know what it sounds like.
Now you know what it sounds like. And we have it on video here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, there you go.
It's basically the same, but just a little quieter.
Quiet, yeah.
I bet from the outside it's a lot quieter. It's probably stuff you want to have fun, but not alert cops.
Yep.
Stealth mode.
It is funny though, because in like the performance manual, whatever, it says like do not do a track day in stealth mode.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, probably just not designed. It's like a lot of back pressure.
Oh, Oh, interesting. Yeah. It probably does actually rob power on this
Oh,
car.
100%.
We finished our test drive of the 2019 Camaro SS ZL1, not 1LE. I haven't done that mistake this video yet.
SS1LE, not ZL1.
Oh my god, I just made the mistake. We have finished our test drive of the Camaro SS 1LE. Oh my god, I did it right. The non-supercharged version. But despite its lack of supercharger, it's no less fun. And honestly, I don't think I would say it's any slower as a street car. This thing is still way too fast, even if it's just only 454 horsepower and pound-feet of torque. But I think the highlight of this car and both the supercharged version is that these are really approachable for how much car they are. Despite being this crazy sports car with all this power and this track mods and whatever, and being super capable on track, it's still very, very easy to drive on the street. Anybody could pick one of these up. And I dare I even say this is as easy to drive as a Mazda Miata. Like, it's actually on that level of just, you can just drive it, you don't have to think about it. So super high point, as far as whether I think you should buy the supercharged or the NA version, honestly, I think it's totally up to preference. I didn't want to give that answer to the start of this video because I wanted to have a controversial opinion, but they're both too good. They're both really fast in the street. They're both would be very usable power on track, and I don't think that extra 200 horsepower really makes or breaks the car. They're just different flavors, and it's kind of whatever you're going for. The supercharger wine's nice, but it sounds just as great without it. Steven, thank you for coming onto the channel. This is a sweet track car, and I look forward to getting a ride in it tomorrow.
Yeah, I look forward to driving it.
Yeah, exactly. But with all that said, let's go ahead and give the Camaro SS 1LE a score.
Yes.
The score is shown. It ties with the ZL1. The cars are very similar, both excellent. I think the NA offers the same experience for less money, but the supercharged one is a tad bit cooler and, of course, faster. Should you buy it? The Camaro SS 1LE is a fantastic sports car. Prices haven't dropped even since the release, but even at 40 to 50 grand, these are a bargain. Furthermore, these have proven to be reliable and able to take a beating on track, only adding to their appeal. The Camaro SS 1LE is the last breath of the Camaro line as we know it. Since this car's release, the Camaro line has been cancelled, and no one knows if it will return or not. Even if it does return, how likely is it to have the same V8 and a classic muscle car feel? GM let the engineers run wild for their last run at the Camaro line, and it shows. Everything is how you would want it to be in this car, other than visibility, which still sucks because it is a Camaro. Otherwise, this is a fantastic car, and you shouldn't pass one up if you're on the lookout for an American track car.